Hello everyone, my dear educators and fellow researchers. This is Arlene D. Avila, a teacher from Francisco de Castro Elementary School, District of General Mariano Alvarez, and I will be talking about absenteeism, its cause and effect on the academic performance of grade 4 pupils in our school. I do hope you find this topic informative and interesting. As we all know, regular attendance at school is essential for all pupils to acquire knowledge, skills, and understanding to combat the challenges of life in order to meet the demands of global competition. But sad to say, one of the most annoying experiences among teachers is when pupils are absent in class. Absenteeism does not only affect the academic progress of the pupils, but also it influences the in-class planning of teachers and at the same time the motivations of other pupils in the class. Absenteeism among pupils is one of the problems which I would like to minimize, if not eradicate completely. That is why this research was conducted for my fellow teachers to understand better why pupils are absent in the class and in return its effect on the pupils' academic performance. I have prepared 3 questions as suggested in the study. First, what were the underlying causes of absenteeism in terms of A. Physical factor, B. Personal factor, C. Home-related factor, and then letter D. The teachers and school-related. Second, what were the effects of absenteeism on the academic performance of the pupils? And the third one, what strategies can be proposed to minimize, if not totally eradicate, absenteeism among the pupils? For the scope and limitations, based on my observation as a grade 4 teacher and interviews with my fellow teachers in the 4th grade, pupils who were low performers in class were those pupils who were also identified as chronic absentees. In other words, these were the pupils who accumulated 2 or more absences in a week, which can be regarded as candidates for pupils at risk. This is the reason why I decided why not these pupils be the subject of my study. The respondents for this study were composed of 17 boys and 13 girls for a total of 30 pupils purposively sampled out of 241 enrollees. Advisors from each class identified the pupils with chronic absences using their daily attendance record form or the school form 2. For the methodologies, the method used in this study was descriptive research design. For in-depth analysis of data, population, sampling procedure, instrumentation, data collection methods, and ethical consideration were used as well. A questionnaire was used to determine the causes and effects of absenteeism among the pupils where they rated each situation presented. Questionnaire was also translated in their native dialect for them to understand better what they are answering and thus giving more accurate responses. The response average or the mean was computed by multiplying the percentage of responses with the equivalent value of each frequency and then adding them all. In this study, I also elicited verbal consents from the principal of the school as well as parental consents from the parents of the pupils in which the study was conducted. Furthermore, I also assured the pupils that their answers were kept confidential and no one known to them or allowed to any form of access to the information that they provided. As shown in the table, the study revealed that based on the computed mean, physical factor was the highest contributory factor with very often. The distance of the school from their home was the main reason why pupils get absent from their class with a computed mean of 2.45, followed by personal factors with sometimes with a mean of 2.4, and classroom atmosphere also sometimes with a mean of 2.37. The teacher factor fell with 2.04 also under sometimes. The home-related factor, which was the least contributory factor, got to under sometimes as well. These factors contributed a lot to why pupils get absent from their class. As indicated in Table 2, it was revealed that absenteeism affects much the academic performance of pupils. Absenteeism showed significant effect on the reading comprehension, handwriting, and application of the four fundamental operations among pupils. As such, if these problems were not nipped in the bud, they could generate into more complex problems such as pupils at risk status, leading to a large number of dropouts. Since truancy is a major nut for all school educators today, we need to continue and find ways to link between home, school, and parents for a sturdy partnership. With the presence of different contributory factors to the cause of absenteeism and its effect on the academic performance among pupils, the need for intervention should be a priority. Teach pupils the value of good study habit. Inform parents about the value of keeping their children in school at all times. Teachers should practice positive approaches in dealing with pupils' defiant behavior. Classroom atmosphere should be pupil-centered. Give more attention to those pupils who were left behind. Guidance and counseling should be encouraged in the school to meet pupils' needs. And encourage teachers to have home visitation to find out pupils' reason of not going to school. With this, I hope you learned something from my study. This is Arlene D. Avila saying thank you and God bless.